Bom dia e bem-vindos ao 51º Festival de Inverno de Campos do Jordão. O festival tem um módulo pedagógico que, na verdade, é a sua função principal, que vem cumprindo nos últimos 50 anos. Entretanto, num ano em que a gente está sofrendo ainda as consequências da crise sanitária, nós tivemos muitas limitações, entre elas a impossibilidade de trazer professores do exterior, como é o hábito do festival. Então, para a gente poder suprir essa necessidade e oferecer a melhor qualidade de ensino para os nossos estudantes, nós criamos uma série de 20 masterclasses de todos os instrumentos orquestrais, mais violão e piano, ministrados por alguns dos maiores artistas da atualidade. Eu tive o privilégio de conhecer o violinista Liviu Prunaru num festival em Portugal e fiquei encantado tanto com ele como violinista como como professor. Ele é a spalla de nada menos que uma das maiores orquestras do mundo, já foi eleita pela imprensa especializada como a melhor diversas vezes, que é a Royal Concertgebouw Orquestra de Amsterdã. Liviu também tem uma ampla experiência como professor na Academia Yehudi de Menochem, na Suíça, e gentilmente encontrou um espaço no seu calendário para ministrar essa aula para os nossos melhores estudantes aqui no Festival de Inverno de Campos do Jordão. Então, espero que vocês gostem desse evento e eu vou convidar aqui o Luca Kevorkian para começar a Masterclass de violino. Obrigado, Liviu. Thank you very much and enjoy your class.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for inviting. Do you hear me, Luca?
Você ouve ele?
Yes, yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sim, ele
good.
te... yes, he hears you.
Essa câmera aqui.
He cannot see me?
I can, I just have to turn to the side, but I can see you through there, right?
Bravo, Luca. That's very, very nice. It's very well performed, very nice, nice ideas, good technical level. But there are some little things, you know, that could deserve some attention. And don't worry, nothing wrong in general. It's nothing wrong. It's all good, and it should be very personal also. But there are few lines that I would like, you know, you to give more importance, and one of them is the rhythm. You know, in general, when one says Alemanda, actually the first thing which comes to my mind is how shall I say, the precision, the rhythmical precision. Reem, pa ba bam, pam pam, da da da. Yeah. So, and this should be kept actually because it gives, how shall I say, a special image as a unit, the whole unit. If you keep, for example, this precision through the whole first movement, you actually can give a very impressive, how shall I say, you know, impact to the audience. If you start going into the personal and very, you take it easy and you start losing a bit the rhythm, I think also the piece loses a bit from its importance. Now, please let me know if you understand everything I'm saying.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, good. The moment you don't, you just put a finger up and say, can you say again or say it differently, and I will do it. Yeah?
Okay,
thank you. So far, you know, now tell me why the beginning, the introduction before we start into the Allemande is slower than the Allemande. Do you have any particular reason to do that?
No, I think that was unintentional.
Okay, good. Because sometimes we do things like exactly unintentional, as you say, and we don't really realize. Yeah, I hear you very well, but maybe for the internet. So, if you don't mind, I would like to take a little bit on smaller pieces and to see how can we correct something. But before we start, before that, I have to tell you something which is a little bit on the disturbing side. Maybe you don't realize yet, but you know, it's about some. Do you know the word tic?
Yes.
Tic. Like when you have a habit which you cannot control and you do it many times and it doesn't disturb you, but somebody else it could be disturbing. And I'm referring here about the unintentional glissandos and sometimes the intentional ones. The way you do it sometimes starts now to flirt a little bit with the vulgar. I'm a little bit tough on saying that, but it's better for you to understand what impact that has. So if you do a glissando, make it beautiful, sensual, and not exaggerated or grotesque, or, attention, don't do it to help your technique. Because, tararawa, you know, yeah. You know, it looks like you're looking for the do instead of actually, you know, and it's the case a few times. It starts to be a little bit like a trend. I've seen that a little bit around, like people not having the guts anymore to go straight to the note and approaching it. I know it's safe and we are under a lot of pressure from the media, from the recordings, from the CD. We try to play perfect, but that's not the way. You should always take risks. Absolutely, because that's part of what we do here. If you play everything perfect, but you lose a little bit from all this, how shall I say, the courage of playing, and then you approach once, approach twice. In fact, you approach about 6 or 7 times, which is too much for one movement. Yeah, so, but yeah, let's play one more time, and when you arrive to some moments like this, I will tell you exactly.
Okay.
Yeah?
Mr. Prunaru, I'd like to interrupt a little bit, just to translate the main ideas for the people watching this on the internet.
Thank you very much.
Então, para as pessoas assistindo isso online, as ideias principais que ele falou até agora foi, primeiramente, parabéns, nada de errado, está tudo ótimo, mas a questão do ritmo e do pulso são extremamente importantes, porque a Allemande dá uma ideia de precisão rítmica. E você manter essa precisão de pulso durante a peça toda dá uma unidade para ela que é muito importante. A outra coisa a qual ele se referiu foi a questão dos glissandos. Tomar cuidado para que eles não virem um tique. Né? Uma coisa é um glissando expressivo que você faz de propósito, a outra coisa é você utilizar o glissando como muleta técnica. Né? Então, para tomar cuidado com isso. Então, resumidamente, esses foram os dois principais quesitos abordados até agora.
Sorry to stop you. I promise you I will, it's not very pleasant, but it's practical. It's practical and effective to stop you exactly when something happens. I would like to mention two things here. Now, this beginning, you have something repetitive which appears 4 times. Ta-di-da-dim. And then ti-da-da-dum, and then ta-da-da-dum, and ta-da-da-dum. 4 times. Now, point of view construction, would you like them to be every time the same?
No.
Or would you like them to be a bit different each time?
Different, definitely.
Okay, so we agree about this, right? Now, in practice, you only change the last one, because actually you even change the bow there, which is very good. I have nothing against it. But the other 3 kind of sound almost the same. Yeah? I would like you to take a moment and realize that each time you play this, something new happens. Like we get not only a higher tone, but also more energy. So the first one, kind of okay, normal. So you see, like this, you kind of mark 4 different steps, and you grow in intensity, in length, in everything. Otherwise, it looks like you oversee this, a little bit on the superficial side. If you play just... And you see, not much happens.
Yeah.
So I would propose that you start using the same amount on the beginning, then you enlarge for the second, then even bigger, and almost the last one. No. Each time you go higher, a bit more bow, and even take a little bit of time.
Okay.
Yeah, let's try this to see how it goes.
Let me translate that for the internet.
Yes.
Então, nesse começo tem um motivo rítmico que aparece 4 vezes. Só que cada uma das vezes que esse motivo aparece, ele é um pouco diferente, ele é um pouco mais agudo e a continuação dele é diferente. Então, demonstrar essa diferença, construir os degraus e o meio técnico que ele sugere para construir esses degraus musicais é usar cada vez mais arco. E até na última vez tomar um pouco mais de tempo para fazer esse motivo.
Yeah, that's much better. That's much better already. But there is one note in particular, which also comes 4 times, that I would like you to pay attention. So, that's the first. The second one. sharp, that's the mi, and then the F sharp. So each time you have this beginning of the arpeggio, I would like you to stay a little, to show that something is happening and you kind of modulate every time to a different part. Otherwise, sound it's like you really don't realize what's happening. And I would like you and the public to be really aware of that and to take it on board.
Então, depois de cada desses motivos rítmicos, tem uma nota que segue, que vai dar início aos arpejos. Essa nota merece ser mostrada e merece importância porque ela também faz parte da progressão.
That's fine. So we got the beginning. The beginning is very good, and I'm sure you can get that do without approaching. It's much more impressive if you get straight. But of course, you played it so many times with glissando that it's difficult to take it away. Now, I know that next passage is kind of a little bit uncomfortable, and I maybe can help you there. So your attention should go immediately to the D string. Because that's exactly the note you are running through and you are sleeping exactly on that note. If you listen to all the notes in that bariolage, you know, that's the note missing, the note on the D string. So play that one slowly, paying attention on the D string, to the D
string. Na passagem que segue, que é um pouco traiçoeira, o segredo é voltar a atenção imediatamente para a corda Ré, que é justamente na corda Ré que está a nota que às vezes ele passa por cima sem perceber tanto.
Not Ré, but D, the D string, Ré. Ré, okay, you said Ré. Very good, very good. Here, I propose it's more impressive than and like that you go to the top note again without glissando, which you do, which is not really nice. Yeah, so.
Com o dedilhado que ele propôs, subindo na corda Sol logo de cara, ele consegue chegar na corda dupla lá em cima sem fazer glissando, o que é muito mais impressionante.
Yeah, and separate the notes. Yes, that's very good. Yeah, good. And now we enter in the Aleman. Now the tempo should be the same, not slower. Good, Lucas. Look, let's take a moment on exactly on this one. What I find always important is to make the difference between 64 note and 32. Yeah. Tim pam or tim pa pam, and it's sometimes is not clear, in the sense that the longer one, which is the 32, it sometimes sounds almost the same like the 64. Okay. Yeah, and that's because yeah, you need more bow whenever it's 32, look on the music and make sure that the 32 is a bit longer than the 64. Yeah? And I wouldn't change the tempo until where we stop. So it should be, you see, this is a short tone. This is a long one. Again, short on. And don't stay, why do you stay so long? You know, it loses the whole pulsation.
Yeah.
Don't make it cheap. You know, the whole point of this Allemand is to be monumental. Imagine an absolutely big architecture, not small one in which, you know, you can go around a bit so be a little bit more strict and don't allow yourself too many liberties in this beginning. Later on, we can do this, and I'll tell you where. And it's actually very clear. I kind of always consider in this movement and other movements also of Ysaÿe sonatas a dialogue between what he wants to represent, in this case Bach, it's Allemand, Bach, and then himself. One, for example, this is clearly not Bach, no? It's so, you know what the passage, that's clearly also not too much Bach, but more Ysaÿe. So I would like this difference between Ysaÿe and Bach to be marked by this element, by the rhythm. So when it sounds more like Bach, a bit more rhythmical. When it's a little bit Ysaÿe, we can go a bit faster. We can stay on some notes a bit longer. So it's clearly a little difference. It's nice to bring this dialogue and this double face of the same piece, of the same, and even the same composer. Yeah. Yeah. So let's try to realize this duality.
I'd like to translate just
yes, please.
A summary of what you said. Então, até agora ele falou o seguinte, que nesse primeiro trecho da Allemand, depois da introdução, é importante manter o tempo. Em seguida, falou que é muito importante fazer a diferenciação entre fusas e semifusas, né? E usar mais arco para as fusas, para fazer bem essa diferenciação, que a tendência é que as fusas fiquem tão curtas quanto as semifusas. E agora, por último, ele está falando que esse movimento é uma homenagem a Bach, e que é possível a gente observar momentos que são muito Bach e momentos que são muito Ysaÿe. E que um jeito muito interessante da gente conseguir, nos momentos que você reconhecer como Bach, ser muito estrito no quesito pulso, para manter a arquitetura da obra toda, e quando for o momento Ysaÿe, aí você faz diferente. Very good, very good. Okay, let's speak a little bit about this
this segment. The first one already sounds better to my opinion. It starts to have a structure, although now the inequality comes in the long note. The long note, sometimes you chop a little bit at the end. It's like you don't have patience to play sim, parari, 1, 2, 3, ta-din, tarari. So sometimes you like chop the end of a long note. Careful, have patience and show like you have all the time in the world. Nobody's pressing you, to finish quicker. Now, the next passage, this sounds a bit more like Ysaÿe, and it's nice to make it a little bit more capricious. You play very, very fast those every time. I understand 1, 2, 3. It's again like beginning. We have the same segment coming several times. And this is the moment where you can play them again different. You see, we have a little bit of both again, a bit of Ysaÿe, a bit of Bach. Yeah. And it's up to you to put them together. See, the first part had a little bit of capriciousness, but then slowly and almost invisible, we go back to Bach again, where we need again this rigorous structure of the rhythm. Yeah? Let's hear you do that nicely.
Então, na questão da precisão rítmica, uma coisa que está acontecendo é que o desequilíbrio acontece nas notas longas. Às vezes você dá uma cortada no final da nota longa e não precisa. Conta direitinho, mostra para todo mundo que você tem todo o tempo do mundo para tocar todas essas notas. Aí no segundo trecho, que vai para o piano, né, que é onde começa a ter já mais essa cara de Ysaÿe, aos poucos vai acontecendo uma transição e voltando para Bach. Uma coisa quase invisível, de repente você está em Bach de novo, e de novo precisa da precisão rítmica, da precisão de pulso. Very good, very good. Careful with that tick which we have, yeah, in approaching to the next note. You did it already twice. I don't think you really need to do that, and it's not that you cannot. Of course you can change. The problem is that you don't realize that you're doing almost, and that's why it's always sometimes good to hear an opinion coming from the outside, because we get used to, even with the intonation, sometimes it gets for a while a little bit approximative, and then you get used to it. So it's nice and refreshing to hear sometimes what we're doing. In this case, please careful that it doesn't become obsessively repetitive, all this procedure. In fact, it's like a principle in playing the violin. Don't use the same procedure too many times, or it loses the effectivity. Yeah? So careful with those shiftings. Ele falou para tomar cuidado com o tique de chegar nas notas através de glissando. Muitas vezes a gente acaba fazendo uma coisa tantas vezes que acaba se acostumando e não percebe que está fazendo. Então por isso que é bom ter um olhar de fora para avisar que a gente está usando o mesmo recurso vezes demais, né? E como um princípio para tocar um instrumento, não use o mesmo recurso vezes demais, porque senão ele perde a eficiência, perde o efeito.
good, very good. Excellent, excellent. Much nicer. But we came back to the short note, the three. You came back to the previous, so careful with that too. Now, the next step, I would like you to pay attention to the small notes. In general, I see that habit in many people to vibrate only the long notes or the easy ones. The music is not always that. The music actually is more hidden in the small and invisible and the ones more difficult to hear notes. So that's actually where I'd like to pay more attention in general. Not the notes everybody can hear. Ta, you know, that's very easy. Like yararam, yararam, and in this case, yararam. You know, sometimes it's so quick that that is really no time to, and it's always so nice when you can hear a little note vibrato even in the fast passage. So try to use that. That should be a nice technique for you, to start vibrating more the small notes rather than the big ones.
Então ele agora se referiu às notas curtas, né, para você tomar cuidado de não fazer as curtas demais. E também falou sobre a questão do vibrato e da musicalidade, que é para não aplicar só nas notas longas. Muitas vezes o segredo da musicalidade da passagem está escondido entre as notas curtas. Então, coloca vibrato mesmo no meio de uma passagem de notas rápidas. Very good. Don't stay so long on this ending. Because it's not even double, it's like triple slow. Yeah. Now let's see one more time this passage. Why did I talk before about the slow notes? Exactly because this passage was coming in, and it's a very hard one for the double stops with the high notes, and it's already difficult to play in tune, let alone to even put a vibrato. But it will be so much more impressive if you can, in the middle of if you can play, it looks, I don't know, so much sweeter. It's like you take care of it. You really mind. You really love that passage. Otherwise, it's like somebody who is, look how correct I can play this, and it's well executed. But that's not what I'm looking, to see or to hear when I go to a concert. What I want to be is touched by this sensitivity. And I would like also, not here, but in the previous passages, in general, show more understanding of what you're doing.
and not understanding from this side, but from this. Like, let it talk to you and let the passage or the piece tell you what it means. Because so far, I mean, not always, but most of the time I hear good playing. And that's not a compliment in this case. It should be, but I want more than just a good playing, if you understand me. Yeah. I want to be hit by a wave of beautifulness, of understanding, of mysteriousness, of many things, yeah? So let's try to see that you actually care for each little note, for each modulation, for when you change the bow, a little bit more sensitivity, ok?
Ok, agora traduzir essa. A primeira coisa que ele falou foi o seguinte, foi por causa que essa passagem estava chegando que ele se referiu à questão das notas longas e das notas curtas e de colocar vibrato e expressividade mesmo nas notas curtas. E aí ele falou o seguinte, quando você chega lá em cima, no super agudo, que você está fazendo a melodia com as trocas de cordas, está tudo muito correto, está tudo ok, está tudo no lugar. Mas não é isso que uma pessoa espera quando vai na sala de concerto. Ele quer ser emocionado, ele quer ser impactado por uma onda de beleza e sensibilidade. Então é importante, nesse lugar, entender o que você quer da música, não com o cérebro, mas com o coração. E para isso ele sugeriu a questão de colocar vibrato, mesmo nesse pedaço.
Okay, Luca.
Sorry.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah. Just the last information. Look, it was so much better. I wanted to stop you already after that passage and to say, bravo. That was really wonderful and totally different. And you should explore more that side. I feel like you impose such discipline on yourself and you actually succeed in being very precise and very disciplined, and actually it's a lot of pleasure in hearing that. But when I hear you become sensitive and intimate and vulnerable, that's absolutely the top, and it takes over any other precision and discipline. So you really put them together and you'll do so much better. But speaking about the discipline, those long notes are still not there, you know that?
Yes.
Re, pa ba bam, pa ba, istam, pa ba. Immediately you go into it, and it's after the third time happening, it's a little bit unnerving, this one.
Yeah.
So you walk me into different states. I'm absolutely impressed, and then I say, wow, no, why does it do that? and then wow, look how precise and how nice it is and so in tune. And then you shorten a few notes, and then you play the last one 3 times longer and say, no. So, you know, in general, always have a little eye on the script, in this case on the music. It's good to go away and to forget about it, but from time to time you go a little bit too far and you forget actually the basics. So sometimes it's nice to go and do like a recapitulation. Let's go a few chapters before and see how it was in the beginning. At the beginning it was much simpler and it became complicated. So do not lose this simplicity of the tempo, because in itself it can be so impressive. I'm very impressed of somebody who can really keep it there. And in the same time, if you give me sensitivity on top of that, then the piece is going to absolutely bloom and flourish. Yeah? It's really wonderful. You're a fantastic player, and you can only, you know, get up from here. But listen to your heart also.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very, very well done. Bravo. Very, very nice. Very nice.
Então, as últimas palavras do Sr. Prunaru foram parabéns, ficou lindo, dá pra ver que você tem uma disciplina incrível, você está tocando tudo, ele ficou extasiado com o fato de você ter adicionado sensibilidade, musicalidade, íntimo e vulnerável. Isso faz com que o que você está tocando vá a um nível muito acima. Ao mesmo tempo que as notas longas continuaram curtas. Então teve esse contraste entre o sublime e o caramba, estava curto de novo. Então é muito importante quando a gente está desenvolvendo uma peça, às vezes voltar para o básico, para o simples. Como que está escrito. E é isso, parabéns. Belo futuro pela frente.
Thank you very much.
It's still strange with all this distance.
Hi, Mr. Prunaru.
Hello.
Hello. My name is Chehide Lucas. I'm gonna play Sibelius Violin Concerto, the first movement.
Yeah, I heard the recording. Sounds very, very nice.
Oh.
Sounds really beautiful.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
looking forward to hearing you live.
Okay, thank you very much.
Onde que é pra ficar? Ah, sim?
No, now I don't see you. Yeah, there.
Okay.
I guess you're silent.
Okay, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Do you hear now? Yeah? Excellent. Very good. I'm so sorry to stop you, but I think I need to touch few places exactly in this first page. And you know why? Because I hear this many times in competitions, in auditions. It's a very popular concerto. And because it's being played so much, some things are starting to go a little bit out of context. Because we almost start to play by ear and not from the music anymore. So now tell me, do you trust Sibelius?
Yes, of course.
You trust Sibelius. So you think he was a good composer, right?
Of course, yes.
Yeah? So he actually knew what he wrote there. It's not like he was trying to find out the way. So when he puts double dot or one dot or a 16 or an 8, he knows exactly what he's doing, yeah? So that means when we play it, we have to pay extra attention to this.
Okay.
Yeah? Now, I'm going to point a few places in which we make mistakes. The first one is this one. Yeah. But you play it. And it's not like this.
Okay.
It's ta 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 da ta ta 1 2 3 1 tom ta ba da tam tam ta ba ba. You play tam tam ta ga dam pam. Yeah. So this is one. Now these two notes, they come in 4 different groups. This is one of them, the one in the triplet. Yeah. Then there is normal 8 notes. Then there is 16, and there is 32. Ta-ta. I didn't hear any difference. They were all 16.
Okay.
Ok, can I
16.
translate?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Então, a primeira coisa que ele falou foi o seguinte: esse é um dos concertos que ele mais ouve em audições, em competições, é super tocado, super conhecido. E aí o que acontece? A gente pode acabar tocando de ouvido. E aí a gente tem que confiar no que o compositor escreveu. Se a gente acredita que ele é um bom compositor, a gente precisa confiar no que ele escreveu e olhar o que tem na partitura com um pouco mais de precisão. Então, esse motivo que ele mostrou de 3 notas, tarará, aparece 4 vezes, com 4 ritmos diferentes. E quando você tocou, ele não ouviu a diferença entre esses ritmos que estão escritos.
Yeah. I have more things to say. The player, actually, our role is to take something from the dead side, something which doesn't exist, which is only written on the paper, to bring it in our soul and bring it out to the world. Yeah? So in a way, you are a creator, a semi-creator, actually creating something which was given by somebody else. Yeah? But the question is, how well do we understand what that somebody, the composer did? Do we go exactly into his mind? There is a moment where you should feel that you are Sibelius, that you wrote this, and to know and understand the reasons why he did that. For example, you know that we have to be like investigators, like police detectives, to understand how we have to do things. For example, there's a difference between few concertos. For example, Mendelssohn concerto, beginning of Mendelssohn, how is it? Yeah? How is the Sibelius? Yeah? Now tell me, how is Saint-Saëns concerto? Third one. Oh, tremolo.
Yeah.
How is Glazunov? Yeah? This in itself, it's already material for reflection. For example, when you have tremolo, Saint-Saëns, the rhythm doesn't exist. There is no rhythm, right? So you can do whatever. Yeah? But can we do the same thing in Mendelssohn? No, because it's counted. In Glazunov. In Sibelius. So, the conclusion is, when the composer wrote very well defined the accompaniment, yaka, taka, 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 then we don't have actually any liberty because it's counted. Da, ba, da, ba. Otherwise, you'll make the life impossible to the orchestra and to the conductor, and it's a mixture of tempos and feelings because I feel like this. No, I don't think we have this right because of the first bar he wrote. Ya, ra, 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 ra. So that immediately puts me in a cage. I have to act between those ta, ra, 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 ra. You see, Saint-Saëns was smart. He just put there brrrr.
Yeah.
So you actually don't hear when the beginning of the bar and what the end of the bar is. So that should make you think that whatever you do, and it's much more challenging. It's much more challenging to do beautiful things being in the measure. That's a challenge. So please refrain from your liberty a little bit and try to go a little bit in the Sibelius mind and play exactly what you wanted, starting with the long notes and ending with the differences in the small notes.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Please.
Então, assim, enquanto músicos, o trabalho que a gente faz é recuperar ou pegar, né, o que o compositor escreveu e transformar isso em som. Então, a gente é co-artista junto com o compositor. E para isso a gente precisa tentar entrar na mente do compositor. E só de ouvir a introdução que os compositores escreveram para os concertos para violino, a gente consegue entender mais ou menos o que eles querem. Então ele está te propondo um dia entrar mais na mente dos Sibelius, observando a partitura geral. Então quando ele escreve notas mesuradas, não trêmulo, como no concerto de Saint-Saëns, ele meio que te coloca numa gaiola rítmica. Não dá para ficar saindo muito. E é muito mais desafiador você ser expressivo e musical e fazer fraseado dentro dessa precisão rítmica. Então ele está te pedindo para segurar um pouco a onda de toda essa expressividade que você mostrou e pensar um pouco mais nessa questão rítmica dos Sibelius.
sorry. Sorry, that's the place. That's the place. It's much slower than with what you do. You do much too fast.
Okay, you think.
From that one.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay.
Yeah. The long note. Sorry. The long note is too long. So make sure that triplet is really triplet equal. Taram padam. You play tam padam. So the long note is too long, and then you are forced to do the two notes too fast. Now I have police here. Yeah, this one much faster. Tarim, takdam. Sorry. That's another technical place. Everybody plays too long here. Ni ta ti ta is ta 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 ta. So both times, and on the up bow and on the down bow, the last note is short. Ta 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 ta. Yeah, I'm insisting on the rhythmical side because it got too deformed, this concerto. It's like nobody is really looking in the music to see what is actually written there. And everybody has like the license to, the liberty to totally change. I find that a little bit, myself disrespectful, and I don't allow myself to do it.
Okay.
So, because I trust that, what he wanted to write, he put it there. Okay. If I don't trust him, then I say, okay, he was a terrible composer, let's totally change his concerto.
Okay.
But I don't think like that. So I go much modest, and I play the notes he wrote exactly in that tempo, of course, with the interpretation I want, but I'm not changing the values of the notes. And careful, because it comes right now, after this. Yeah? Okay, good. Let's speak technically about this one. This is a funny passage, and it's kind of problematic. I see that you do the fingering 2-1-2-1. This sometimes can slow you down.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe consider the 4. Each 4, just play 4-3-2-1, 4-3-2-1, 4-3-2-1. it's a little bit more ergonomical for the hand. You know, it's not maybe exactly the scales we learned, but it's more effective.
Okay.
So open your mind and say, yeah, maybe the other one is easier, your fingering is easier, but it's not effective. It doesn't sound as it should. You know why? Because it's not well synchronized. So I hear shifting between. With this one, I don't hear any shift. It's taga 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 taga.
Yes.
Yeah? So I would consider that place. Now, there is one more aspect in Sibelius which makes it very interesting. Usually in all these big concertos, Tchaikovsky, Brahms, the last notes, the top notes are always tam. In Sibelius, if you look carefully, almost all of them, with maybe one or two exceptions, they all have diminuendo. Yeah? So. This is diminuendo, and hardly anybody does that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Also, before, I wouldn't go so fast. Da, 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 da.
Okay.
Yeah? So again, try to go back to school a little bit, like few steps, and try to be for once in tempo correctly as he meant. It's actually more difficult. Everybody transformed this according to the technique, and not so much according to the music. Everybody plays is not, cadenza is not there. Cadenza comes right after that, right? So let's not change it too much.
Okay.
You know?
Can I translate it?
Good. Yes,
so
please.
Much information already. Então, a primeira coisa que ele sugeriu foi uma mudança de dedilhado. Né? Então ele viu que você está fazendo 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 1-2-1, 2-1, 2, que é o dedilhado que mais parece com o que a gente estuda em escalas. Mas ele está sugerindo descer com o quarto dedo nos tempos fortes. E ele está fazendo essa sugestão, apesar de não ser o que geralmente se estuda, porque ele está ouvindo sujeirinha de som nas mudanças de posição. A segunda coisa que ele falou foi em relação às notas de chegada, as notas de chegada no agudo, que são longas. Geralmente nos outros concertos são notas que você chega, cresce e termina. Nos Sibelius, pouquíssimas das notas longas, agudas de chegada são desse tipo. A maioria você chega e diminui. Então, para prestar atenção nisso, prestar bastante atenção no que está escrito na partitura. Em seguida, ele falou da subida de acordes. Então, para fazer em tempo, né, que as pessoas costumam correr aí por uma questão de facilidade técnica. E é mais difícil tocar a tempo. E ele falou assim, ainda não chegou na cadência. A cadência é depois disso. Então, aí ainda para tocar em tempo. Né? Às vezes a gente tem que voltar um pouco, ir para coisa um pouco mais escolástica, mais atenta ao que o compositor escreveu, para poder fazer uma execução um pouco mais livre dos vícios de audição que ele citou no começo da Masterclass.
Dois antes disso, tá?
Yeah, the passage one more time.
Oh, I have to practice this one.
Yeah. Don't worry. It's to practice. It's about the frame.
Yeah.
Frame. Find out where the semitone is. Taga, 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 taga. Yes, exactly. again, Sibelius wrote something different here. Yeah? First of all, in the cadenza, I hear too many double stops. It's not Tchaikovsky, you know. Yeah, he put double stops himself, which means that Sibelius actually wanted to hear singular notes. And I do not agree with changing the text of Sibelius. It's single notes, we play single. Yeah? The same thing in the octaves. By the way, how you finish the cadenza and how you start when the piano starts, it's exactly the same tempo. It looks like it's much slower suddenly, and then to end with the everything in this passage, you play octaves instead of individual. Yeah. By the way, I recommend here fingered octaves, but this comes only if you study everyday fingered octaves. Because, I don't know, I put so you can see my hand, yeah. It's clearer. Yeah, okay. That helps a little bit with this problem we have of playing 4. You know, playing 1/4 all the time kind of pushes you to do octaves. Yeah? I want to hear rakataka, no tra 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 tra. So it's a difference between the simple notes and the double notes, and I want very clear to hear. Yeah. So one recommendation for the cadenza: try to practice it upside down. So. From here. Actually, I ended up playing it like this because I found out that the accent given on the up bow, it's stronger than the down. Sorry, I'm on the chair. And it's clear, yakataka. As you hear, that I play individual notes and not double stops.
Yes.
It's like one of my teachers, the famous Yehudi Menuhin, was having a phrase. He was always saying, do not indulge yourself. Don't indulge, like don't take the easy way. It's very easy to play. Yeah? But it's so much harder. I spent so many hours trying to. Yeah, but this is what Sibelius wanted. You think again that he was such a bad composer that he couldn't write double stops? He could very easily write. This is what everybody plays, and I do not agree with that. I'm the type of more respectful for the composer, for the time. You know, they took a lot of time to write all those notes.
Yeah.
So when somebody takes so much time to put all those details, it's on my duty, and I have to respect the composer's wishes, and I don't have this courage of changing what they wrote. So I would be more modest and try to play the notes, even if they're difficult.
Okay.
You understand about this cadenza and about this?
Yeah.
Very good. Then,
may I translate that?
Yes, please. Yes.
Então, ele falou algumas coisas em relação à cadência. A primeira delas é que o andamento do começo e do fim estão diferentes. Talvez não devessem ser diferentes. A outra coisa que ele falou é que muitos dos lugares que está soando corda dupla não está escrito corda dupla. Então tem alguns lugares de troca de corda e o lugar das oitavas. O compositor escreveu notas simples e não duplas, então é interessante a gente respeitar o que esse compositor escreveu ainda, acreditando na competência dele. O professor dele, que foi erro de menu, falava, não caia na indulgência, ou seja, não pega o caminho fácil. Né? Ele passou muitas horas estudando isso para fazer sair. E duas sugestões que ele deu, uma para cada uma dessas passagens, foi, na passagem que tem as trocas de corda, estudar com o arco ao contrário. Tanto que no fim das contas ele acabou tocando desse jeito porque descobriu que os acentos para cima soavam mais fortes. E na passagem das oitavas, ele faz um dedilhado de oitavas dedilhadas, não um 4-4. Porque muitas vezes o dedilhado 1-4 pode induzir a gente a tocar cordas duplas, e não é o que está escrito. Então ele gostaria de ouvir o que está escrito, o mais estritamente possível.
Thank you, Helen, for this. Thierry, tell me please how you practice this cadenza. Daba 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 daba.
I practice in rhythms. Tan, tada,
Yes.
tada, tada, tadi. Like,
Just show me a little bit.
okay, from.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. That's excellent. And then upside down also. Yeah. Now, yeah. Please introduce in your practicing 2 more ways of playing. Upside down, start up bow. Yeah. And then the last one, which is actually the most effective, I found out, put accents on different places. Put accents, you have 4 notes, yeah? Study with accent on the first note, but also study with accent on the second note. And on the third note.
Okay.
Yeah? All separate at the same time. For example, we start with accent on the first note. Yeah? This is more normal, yeah? But what is abnormal is accent on the second note. Yeah? And also with the third note. And finally, the most interesting of all, accent on the last note. Yeah, it's very, very disturbing for the head, but it will help you. So actually the 2 which are abnormal, accent on the second note and on the fourth note, will help you a great deal.
Okay.
I have a question. Do you
Yes.
do that practice with accent in different notes with both bowings?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Starting down and starting up. In fact, that's one of the way I practice. When I practice something, I always look for the duality. If it's in détaché, I play it also in legato. If it starts down, I play it up. If it starts up, I play it down. If it's slow, I play it fast. If it's fast, I play it slow. So always look for the completion, complete the passage. Sometimes we practice only in one way.
Okay, may I
Like
translate
already-
that? Because that's very
Yes, please.
specific and very interesting. Então ele está sugerindo formas de estudar. Então nesse lugar onde tem as trocas de corda, ele sugeriu estudar com arco ao contrário e estudar fazendo desse jeito que você fez, com acentos em diferentes notas. Então a cada grupo de 4 notas, você vai estudar primeiro com acento na primeira de cada uma dessas notas. Depois com acento na segunda, depois na terceira e depois na quarta nota. É muito difícil estudar com acentos tanto na segunda quanto na quarta. E esse estudo com acentos ele faz com os 2 tipos de arcada, começando tanto para baixo quanto para cima. E aí ele completou dizendo que ele sempre estuda as dualidades todas. Então, se uma coisa é em détaché, ele estuda ligado. Se é ligado, ele estuda em détaché. Se uma coisa é rápida, ele estuda devagar. Se uma coisa é devagar, ele estuda rápido e assim por diante.
If it's piano, study forte. If it's with vibrato, study also without vibrato, but mostly the other way. Put vibrato even if it's really hard. Okay. So, in fact, you have to be a little bit of masochist and look for the pain. If you don't look for the pain, if it's too easy, that means you don't progress much. If you feel the pain, that means you are touching your limits. And that's exactly when the magic happens. Because if it's painful, that means you are advancing. You are pushing your limits. So look for that in the practicing.
É um pouco como ser um masoquista. Você vai tentando formas diferentes de estudar e quando está doendo, é porque você está fazendo progresso. É porque você encontrou um limite e você está fazendo o esforço necessário para aquilo virar um aprendizado.
And the last form of practicing in different parts of the bow. Here, here, and also here. Most of the time I use it here because it's the hardest. This is okay and this is easy. Yeah, this is the hard one. Yeah, this is the hard one. So use always the hard ways of practice. Okay. Now let's hear after the cadenza. Good. Let's talk about this. You see, each page has specific problems. Yeah, this page, the problem of this page, the second part of the second page is the rhythm. The rhythm is a problem. Every time I hear that with piano, with orchestra, alone, it's always a problem. All these 6/4 measures are really a pain. And it's exactly where we should really try to be precise. It's already difficult, so to simplify, I would count in 2, because the 2 has also, you can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 1, 2. So actually you count in 2, you can include both types of measures, the 4/4 and the 6/4. Yeah. So in this case. Yeah. Again, tempo. 1, 2. Yeah. In general, that note, because it's so long, everybody likes to chop it. It's a no. Please, long enough. Yeah. Ti ra ra ri ra ta di ta. It's really long, so you have to keep it. And then after that, ti da. try to become really an artist on these triplets. The triplets are the most difficult rhythmical thing which I know. You know, it's simple, but it's like this. Nobody plays well the triplets. Everybody becomes an artist in the triplets, and they never sound like a triplet. Yeah, ti ta ta ti ta ta ti. So it's whatever. I really like simple things, and again, go back to the rhythmical base, the structure, how Sibelius wrote it. He wrote triplets. The triplets must be really divided in three. Yeah, I know it's very confusing, and you luckily have a wonderful pianist, which I would actually like to salute and applaud, because it does a fantastic job, and nobody even sees it. Yeah, but we can hear it. So please transmit my greetings and my applause for yeah.
Professor Prunaru está dando parabéns para a pianista, está fazendo um trabalho ótimo e muitas vezes a gente nem acaba vendo o trabalho dela. É a Cecília Moita.
Exactly, but an orchestra would not do that. With an orchestra, you'll have a problem, and everybody will be unhappy. They'll be unhappy, you'll be unhappy, and nobody, you know, at the end is really doing what they should. So my suggestion, again, it's very simple. Play as rhythmical as possible. That never should stop you from playing beautifully. By the way, I should have started with this. You have a beautiful tone and very, very nice sound, and it's very pleasant to listen to it, and very nice intonation and vibrato. However, sometimes in the double stops, especially here, you went a little bit, you know, the octaves, so very careful with that one. Now, I would also like to vary the vibrato sometimes. It is a little bit on the slow side. Listen a little bit with some recordings with high frets. You know, whenever I put high frets, I feel like electric. So get still a little bit from that. It's really nice to have some parts of that vibrato. Now, the passage with the trill, I advise you to do continuous trill. Again, that's my hand here. Now. So don't separate the bow anymore. Study like it will be continuous. And then later, but study with the continuous trill, yeah? Yeah, that's very, very important too.
Can I translate so far?
Yes, please, yeah.
Então, a primeira coisa que ele falou foi de novo sobre o ritmo. Na segunda metade da segunda página tem a passagem em 6/4. E ele ouve-se tanto esse concerto, e as pessoas tomam muita liberdade com essas tercinas que tem nesses compassos. E ele falou, é só tercina, mas o pessoal vira anarquista quando chega nas tercinas e cada um faz o que quer. E não é bem assim. Precisa realmente ser muito preciso com essas tercinas, com esses compassos em 6/4. Depois eu não lembro o que ele falou. Sim, ele te elogiou muito. Gostou muito do seu timbre, da sua afinação, do seu vibrato, da sua expressividade. A afinação, toma cuidado um pouco nas oitavas, e o vibrato pode usar um pouco mais de variedade. Ele está meio igual, mais para o lado lento. Então ele falou assim, ouve umas gravações do Heifetz tocando. É tão elétrico que isso pode ajudar você a imitar um pouquinho ele para criar essa variedade de vibrato. E por fim, o pedaço onde tem os trinados, o jeito que ele sugeriu para você estudar é tocar em corda dupla a passagem toda, sem as mudanças de arco, com atenção em manter o trinado constante durante toda a passagem, e só depois adicionar as trocas de corda de arco.
Yeah, one more thing. You have this passage with the arpeggio, ta ta ta, D flat major. It was not magical. That play should be, you know, like transcendental. Should come from another world. It already the tonality. Who plays in D flat major on the violin? Nobody, you know. So the tonality already is so mysterious and so kind of noble. So it should be so magical, this place. It was a little bit with the feet on the earth, too much.
Okay.
Yeah, you were too materialistical there. Dream, please. Feel the moments where you can let yourself dream. And for once, we don't have to count too much. This is very free.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can take a little bit of time. Of course, within reason, you should not stay on one note, exaggerated. But that means you don't have to really be metronomic here. It's already, you know, the piano puts, or the orchestra lays down the tonality and then lets you evolve on that one. And then you do your arpeggios, and then once you are on the top there, I should also be on top of the Mount Olympus with the gods and be on the different world, yeah? And which means the sound should be so pure and so touching. And I'm sure you want to do that too, but first you're thinking of the intonation and the precision, and that takes away a little bit from the magic. Yeah, because I can read a little bit how you think. You can do that very beautiful. However, you are still afraid that you will not be in tune, and you press a little bit more just to be sure. No, try to really be risky and go at the edge of almost no sound. You know, octaves are always difficult. That's why all my students have to practice fingered octaves all the time. And every few months, I'm putting for them a technical exam in which they have to play for about 2 hours scales and studies, which include fingered octaves. So if you didn't do until now, like I did, you know, many years I avoided them because they are very difficult and I dislike them totally. But later on, I was curious. I was thinking like, maybe it's time to have a look a little bit. And I like them so much because they open your hand and they work on synchronization, and then you start knowing better your violin, and suddenly you can use extensions in your fingerings. And to tell you how helpful these octaves were, I started using them everywhere. I used them in Mendelssohn, I used them in Sibelius, I use them in Fauré sonata. Everything actually, any passage which has octaves, you find out now that it's better sounding if you play them fingered octaves. And the same on the second movement, those passages with the octaves, tara, 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 all fingered octaves. It's very interesting and very effective, but everybody's afraid because it's like really high-end technique and nobody likes to touch it. But if you have the courage and start practicing every day your scales, yeah, then you realize that they're not that difficult, and they can help a lot in many passages, including Sibelius.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid his time is over.
Oh.
The time is gone.
Okay.
It's always
Mr.
a problem.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was a big pleasure.
Thierry, bravo, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic, beautiful flow. Good luck.
Pra mim também tem que arriscar. Quando é que coloca um arpejo de ré bemol maior para o violino fazer, né? Quase nunca. Então aproveitar essa oportunidade, que também é uma oportunidade de não ser ritmicamente tão preciso assim, e arriscar, chegar na beira de quase não fazer som. E depois ele falou da utilidade de estudar oitavas dedilhadas, que ele evitava, mas depois ele ficou curioso, começou a estudar e viu que tem muitas utilidades que ajudam a abrir a mão e que no fim das contas não são tão difíceis assim, que ele faz todos os alunos dele estudarem oitavas dedilhadas.
So you must be Gabriel, right?
Yes. I will play the Brahms Violin Concerto.
Yes, I know. Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
Now, since I heard that beginning 3 times already, I can already tell you a few things. Now that it's time to do them. Again, probably you heard that many times. The rhythm. The rhythm is very important. For me, the rhythm is not just a way of writing and putting music down, but it's also a weapon, a way of expression. Somebody with a good rhythm will stand up better than somebody who has no rhythm at all. For me, it's like a serious person and not so serious. Like a person to take in consideration and a person to forget about. So it is, especially in the big concertos, which everybody plays, people start to forget a little bit where do they come from, all this. Everybody starts to have a little bit too much liberty. I would, send a little bit everybody back to school and back to what is written, actually, and not interpret so much, because in fact the composer was very precise of what he wanted to. And of course we can take little bit here, there, we do all the time. Look at the pianists. They will not be able to play Chopin in tempo. It's not possible, and it's not beautiful either. But the way you do it, it's also delicate. It's like glissando. You do a little bit too much, it becomes vulgar. You do a little bit discreet, it's like, wow. The same with tempo. It's a weapon. Choose it. Choose the way you want to use it. And sometimes be extremely precise, and sometimes just a tiny little bit. You know that I use it even in Mozart concertos. Pam pam tara 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 tam pam pam para tara tam pam param pam pam tara 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 tam pam pam para tara tam pam pira, and it makes a huge difference. So the same in Brahms. If you actually have some stability at the beginning, it will show me that you are not scared of all of these technical difficulties, and that you master them. So in the moment I will hear that you start going a little bit to the right or to the left, that shows me a bit of faiblesse in technical side, a bit of weakness there. So show me how strong it is by playing very, very rhythmical the beginning. I speak about the first few bars. Yeah? Let's hear that.
Ele falou sobre a questão do pulso, mais uma vez, né? Quando a gente estava preparando a Masterclass, ele ouviu um pouquinho do começo do Brahms algumas vezes e disse: eu já posso dizer que é bom tomar cuidado com a questão do pulso. Porque o tempo é uma arma que a gente usa, é um recurso expressivo que a gente tem. Se a gente usa demais, fica fraco. E se o nosso pulso não está preciso o suficiente, isso mostra uma técnica que não está boa o suficiente. Então, tenha isso, assim, o tempo é um recurso, ele usa até em concertos de Mozart. Mas tenha em mente que é muito importante manter o pulso e ter precisão rítmica. E usar o recurso dessa variação com sabedoria.
Okay, good. Let's take it. Bravo, very nice. Now, Gabriel, I have a question for you. Do you have a metronome at home?
Sorry.
Do you have a metronome at home?
Yes.
Do you use it?
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't think so. For example, have once the curiosity to play the first page under the metronome. I know it's like a torture. It will be a torture, but it will be a very good exercise for you. Now, let me tell you something. When I played this again for Menuhin, he told me, why do you stop like 4 times before the theme arrives? It's like, you know, there are 4 endings. Every time, ta ba da 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 da, ta da 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 da. You know, all these scales and all these chromatics. We always stop so many times. In fact, I was so free in this first page that it made no sense almost. My concerto was like falling apart in all the... Why? Because I was indulging myself too much and enjoying my part. But when you do that, you lose the ensemble, you lose the unity, you lose the total, the per total. So it will sound nice on your way that you do all these little things, but as a piece, you know that this is like a symphony with a obbligato violin. It's not a real concerto for the violin because the orchestral writing is so beautiful and so complex that you can hardly call it a violin concerto, which means that you are part of something bigger. And as part of something bigger, you cannot be too individual. So I would again bring it back to beginnings and play in tempo. And I told you about that octave. So you play the beginning. You know how short you play this? Can you play for me this beginning?
Can I translate so far?
Yeah, okay.
Primeira coisa que ele perguntou foi se o Gabriel tem metrônomo em casa. E perguntou se usa. Por quê? O Gabriel está tomando tanta liberdade expressiva nessa primeira página que está descaracterizando um pouco. Esse concerto é, na verdade, como uma sinfonia que tem, por acaso, uma parte de violino solista, porque a escrita para a orquestra é tão complexa e tão rica e tão cheia de coisa, né, que não dá para a gente se distrair só curtindo a nossa própria parte e esquecer que ela se encaixa dentro de um todo, né? Então, quando ele, o professor Prunaru, foi tocar para o seu respectivo professor Yehudi Menuhin, ele estava tomando tanta liberdade que o Menuhin falou assim: você terminou a frase 4 vezes antes mesmo de chegar no tema, né? Então, ele está falando que ele também entende o que acontece com você e sugeriu de você tocar pelo menos a primeira página inteira com o metrônomo. Vai ser horrível, é uma sensação muito esquisita, mas é um exercício maravilhoso. E aí falou das oitavas logo no começo da linha do violino, de fazê-las mais longas.
Let's play a bit without piano, because I'm going to work a little bit on detail. Yeah. Yeah. Can you tell me the value of this note? What is the value of this note? Of F and D and B flat?
Consegue dizer o valor das notas? Fá, Ré e Si bemol?
It's one tempo.
Exactly. What is one beat? Ta, ti, ti. And you play pa, pa, pa. we are very, very far from what it should be. Yeah? So please use all your bow. So actually go to the other extreme. Instead of playing them extremely short, play them extremely long as possible.
Usa o arco inteiro e vai para o outro extremo. Faz tão longo quanto você conseguir.
No. I speak about that fa.
Ele tá falando
You
sobre
play?
o do Fá.
No. I'm sorry. Please do not stop the bow between. Play them absolutely without any pause. No break at all. I still hear pause. Can you play like there will be legato? Ti, ti, ti. Yeah. No, keep the bow. Ti, ti, ti. The bow has nothing to do.
O que ele está sugerindo para você fazer é o seguinte: mantenha a arcada, e aí cada uma dessas oitavas toca com o arco inteiro, quase como se elas não tivessem ponto, não tivessem divisão nenhuma. Pode até extrapolar um pouquinho o valor delas, não tem problema, mas usa o arco inteiro, faz elas bem compridas, como se tivesse um traço embaixo de cada uma delas. Yeah, it's already much better. You know, when you play like this, it sounds serious to me. I take you seriously. I say, oh, this is a serious player. The first version you give me, that's not serious. I'm sorry to say, but that's very far from how you should appear on stage. That was a little bit like a caricature. It's not really, first of all, it's not correct, it's not what is written there. And the second, it doesn't sound good at all to play those octaves small. Now, I'm trying to understand why would you choose to do it so short. And my answer, it will be a psychological one. Those octaves are very exposed and very difficult. So, you choose actually to to touch it a little bit and to run away because you are not very sure about them. Show me exactly the opposite, that you totally master those octaves, and not only that you can play them long, but you can vibrate them and sustain until the next octave. So these 3 octaves are now your objective. Então
Yeah.
ele falou o seguinte: na primeira versão, quando as oitavas estavam super curtas, não parecia que você era um violinista muito sério, porque isso está muito longe do que está escrito na partitura. Quando você toca do jeito que você tocou agora da última vez, aí sim, aí você é um violinista sério. E quando você toca muito curto, além de estar muito longe do que está escrito na partitura, não soa muito bem e não projeta muito quando você está no palco. Por isso também você precisa que essas notas sejam muito presentes e muito mais longas, né, completando o valor do que está escrito na partitura. E aí ele está pensando assim, por que será que você faz isso tão curto? Talvez fosse um recurso psicológico, medo das oitavas, então deixa eu sair delas logo. Né? Então agora tome riscos, faz o contrário e vai para as oitavas. Elas são seu objetivo agora nessa primeira frase.
And,
Let's hear. Still alone. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Very good. I hear it longer now, but I don't hear any vibrato.
Sorry, I forgot to translate that. Então, além de fazer as 3 notas bem longas, coloca um vibratão em cada uma.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now you played vibrato, but they became short again. I want both. It's not yet. Long, fare, si. Yeah. This 3 notes. remember the tempo and the rhythms. Please play exactly this tempo. Tim pam pim pam 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 ya pa 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 pam. Yeah? Very good, very good. Now let's modify a little bit the fingerings. After you go here, open string, and now on the G string, F.
Você entendeu o dedilhado que ele sugeriu?
Sim.
Yeah, and now not so separated, but no. Okay, now from the moment you finish the octave, each note you play with vibrato. All the notes with vibrato. Yeah, now starts to be a bit serious, you know, and not only serious, I take it serious, but it's also solid. That shows now experience in playing. The other one is like, I don't know even how to explain it. It looks like a little rabbit which came and was so scared that he ran away immediately. See, I had no rhythm, I had no heaviness, I had no solidity. It was all hidden. This is more exposed, but really expose yourself from the very beginning. One more suggestion with the beginning, with after the re. Try to retake a little bit. Yeah, not. Yeah, try to retake a little bit.
Retomar o ar pouquinho.
Now.
Ok, o que ele sugeriu foi...
No.
I can translate that. Quando você for com arco para baixo no primeiro ré, o segundo ré que você faz também com o arco para baixo na ponta, ao invés de continuar do ponto onde você está, retoma um pouquinho, para você ter gás nesse arco para baixo que é na cruz do arpejo.
Yeah, let's try.
Tá, tá.
Yeah, look. It's like, look, I finished the bow, look at my bow, yeah? And instead of starting here, so I don't start there, I start, you see what I do?
Ah, okay.
So a little bit in the air, re, mi. That was nice, the thing, yeah. The moment you'll have these 3 octaves is like, yes, you'll have the first page, but right now they're not. And in general, it's very hard to get them long. Just play these 3 octaves for me. Fa, re, si. But you see, you still cut them. Fa, stop, re, stop. No stop. Ta, ti, ti. No. The original bow. Up, down, down. Yeah, and make them sound like they'll be up, down, up.
Então o objetivo é você continuar com a arcada original, mas fazer soar como se fosse cima, baixo, cima.
Yeah, the problem is the last 2 octaves, which is longer the re. Yes. Please do not forget about this. Okay. You can forget anything we spoke today, but not about these 3 octaves, because that changes the whole aspect of how you play this beginning, and even the whole concerto. If you have these 3 octaves, it's like, yes, it's really big. Otherwise, it's not serious. Bravo! Excellent. Very good. Now, the problem is the next one. No, actually, this is fine. But when you start, you do it almost twice slower. No, the tempo is ta taka taka ta taka 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 ta taka 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 ta taka 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 ta. So do not lose the tempo there. Yeah. Let's continue.
I start in this part here.
Yeah. Start from the same and we go on. No. The pause is much too long. It's taka 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 ta, taka 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 ta, taka taka. You play taka 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 ta, taka 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 ta, and it's like disconnected. No, it's absolutely almost no pause. It's much more connected. Taka 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 ta, taka 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 ta. So I tell you, please take me seriously and do yourself a favor. Take the metronome and work with it. It sounds absolutely silly, and you say, yeah, but I can play in tempo. Believe me, no one can play in tempo. I was practicing Sibelius a few months ago to play with the Concertgebouw, and I realized I cannot play in tempo. So if I say that, you should have no fear to say also the same. So please take the metronome and trust it, and move each line and make it faster and faster until you get to the tempo. And then try to play in tempo, and they realize how difficult it is to play in tempo. Yeah? But take maybe from a little bit before, from here.
Okay, can I translate that?
Yes.
Então, ele falou do pedacinho que o Gabriel estava tocando antes sobre a duração das pausas. Estava muito longo, então não dava conectividade à frase. Por mais que sejam degraus, é uma frase só. E aí ele estava falando, estuda com o metrônomo. Eu mesmo, quando estava, o professor Prunaru, quando estava se preparando meses atrás para solar os Sibelius com a Concertgebouw, estava estudando com o metrônomo e percebeu que nem ele estava conseguindo fazer as coisas muito a tempo. Então não fica mal de ter que estudar com o metrônomo. Ninguém consegue tocar super a tempo o tempo todo. Né? Então esse exercício de estudar com o metrônomo é super importante. E Gabriel pediu para você pegar da frase anterior ao pedaço que você tinha acabado de tocar.
Sim.
No. Sorry. Like with the metronome. Tam pim pam ta taka 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 ta taga daga 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 tim. No. Sorry, the triplets are much too fast. Ti ta 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 ta. You see, you lost already. You lost from the after you finish the passage and you start taka 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 ta. It was a whole pause out of tempo, totally out of tempo. Look, I'm going to beat ta taka 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 ta. Yeah, one more time.
Cuidado, você perdeu o pulso entre o final de uma passagem e o começo de outra. Então, quando você começa taca, 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 tá, ali você passa a ser mais lento. Então, por isso que ele está pedindo para você vir tocando de antes, que é para manter o andamento do que vem antes até entrar nessa frase. E cuidado para não correr nas tercinas e semicolcheias.
Yeah, it's much better, but you think that this is just a practicing way. This is not a practicing way, this is actually the way to do it. Yeah, and now you have to play it the same way like you played before, totally involved, but in tempo. You think that playing in tempo, it's like boring and not interesting. It's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. Playing precisely and in tempo, exactly in passages like this, shows much deeper comprehension, understanding, and meaning, and it shows maturity. The other one shows me that absolutely not understanding. When you play the triplets, ta 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 ta, it's running every triplet. Yappa pa 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 pa. In fact, the definition of the triplet is to stabilize. You know, the triplet, the tripod is the structure the most stable, you know, in the whole geometry. You have two, it falls down. You have four, one of them can be out and it will still. But when you have three, it's not moving. It doesn't matter how it is, it's still there. Perfect. So please do not affect the triplets. The triplets are still affected. Now, when you arrive to this, can you vibrate the top note every time? La, fa, mi, do. Yeah. And now I would like to hear each note like it's meant to be. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a difficult passage. So take it really, really serious until it sounds complete. Which means each note, yeah, no doubles, no fast note, equal notes, and if you can vibrate that note, the top note, and make it, here comes that liberty which you can take. Take a little bit of time on it, so yeah, that I have time to hear, and not only hear, but also hear it vibrato. Can you vibrate all of them? Okay, one more thing. Let's try one more thing. When you play this, your bow is divided equally. It should not be. The division should be more. So actually, it's 3/4 only on the top note, the rest is 1/4. And again, 1/4 and the note, the top note, the whole bow. Can you do that one slowly?
E aqui ele está falando de distribuição de arco, que se relaciona com o que ele disse antes, que é, nesse caso, dentro da precisão de pulso e da precisão rítmica, a nota mais aguda recebe um pelinho a mais de tempo. E agora ele está falando para prestar atenção na distribuição de arco. Nessas trocas de corda, o seu arco está distribuído de forma homogênea, e ele está dizendo melhor não fazer isso. Como a nota aguda ela é a mais importante, 3/4 do seu arco vão estar na corda Mi, e aí 1/4 do arco você vai dedicar para as cordas de baixo. E não esquece do vibrato sempre na corda aguda.
Okay. I hear some illegalities there. Now give me an accent on the second note. The note on the A string, I want that with accent, slowly and with accent.
Ele está sugerindo de você agora, está ouvindo umas ilegalidades aí, e Toca essa passagem de novo do jeito que ele tocou, acentuando a segunda nota de cada grupo. Na corda Lá.
Down, down, down. Yeah. No. I'm sorry, but the passage is totally in the fog. It's not practiced at all. You see, when I try to disassemble it, I see clearly that the pieces are not put together. So it's not clear here. All these things are not clear there, you know. Do it once very slowly for me, but extremely clear, like exaggerated clear.
Você entendeu o que ele disse no começo? Não está muito limpo, então parece que não está muito estudado. Os pedaços que formam a passagem parece que eles não estão muito bem entendidos. Então por isso que ele pediu para você tocar super devagar, deixando tudo super claro.
Sorry, but it's not right. It's not right. You have also bad fingering. No, don't do that. It's always keep the 3/4.
Tá falando de dedilhado. Manter os
Your passage has no symmetry, and because of this, it's also very dirty now in your head. So now play for me the doubles. One more time. This is the first time that it's clear, and also in your head. I feel now that you know. Before you didn't know. You played a little bit confused because it was not symmetrical. Now it's symmetrical. Now to make sure that it's even more symmetrical, play separate each note. And a little bit faster. No. Try to understand the progression. How is the progression? You saw the top is repeating. That's not difficult. The difficulty is this is the difficulty.
O difícil não são as notas agudas, é a nota do meio, a que ele faz com o primeiro dedo.
Yeah, the first finger, that's the problem, the first finger. And again, a little bit faster, not very fast, a little bit.
Só um pouquinho mais rápido.
Yeah, careful with the first do. This one is a little bit sharp. Put it down.
Cuidado com o primeiro do que você toca com o primeiro dedo, que está um pouquinho alto.
better, much better. And a little bit faster. Yeah, ta 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 ta. Sorry. No. You see, you came back to your fingering. We lost everything.
O que aconteceu foi que você voltou para o seu dedilhado antigo. Teve uma coisa muito importante que ele falou antes, que não deu tempo de traduzir, que é o seguinte. Antes você estava com um dedilhado que não era simétrico, junto com a progressão harmônica, e isso poderia estar causando uma confusão no seu entendimento da passagem. Agora, quando você tocou, você voltou para aquele dedilhado. Então, toma cuidado com isso. Quando você faz um dedilhado simétrico, fica mais fácil de entender a passagem inteira.
So, okay, let me explain to you. Let me explain to you psychologically what happens now. Now, this passage, you still consider like, oh, I have it. Maybe it's not very clear, but I still have it. The reality is you don't have it. This passage has to go to the garbage. Throw it away. Start it from zero and rebuild it. What you have now, right now, it's an illusion. This is not the passage. The passage is corrupted to the core. So you have to break it totally, like to the adagio. Bring it down to the adagio and little by little construct it back with the right fingering. Because the one you had was exactly the motive why it was not clear. So until you don't take that fingering out of your head and use the symmetrical one, and then your brain understands what that is symmetrical all the time, then, until then, we don't have the passage. So right now, you have to really reconstruct the whole thing.
Okay? I'm sorry, we have 5 minutes.
Okay. Please, can you translate this to, so it's
of
clear?
Course. Então, ele estava dizendo que assim, tem uma questão psicológica que é o seguinte. Eu tenho essa passagem, está saindo mais ou menos, então está saindo. Só que não está saindo, ela não está compreendida, não está entendida. Então, o que tem que fazer é, como a gente encontrou essa questão do dedilhado, que está na essência da passagem não estar saindo e não estar entendida, joga tudo fora e começa o trabalho do zero com o dedilhado novo, que é simétrico e permite um melhor entendimento da passagem. Volta a tocar em tempo adágio, entendendo pedacinho por pedacinho do que está escrito e da mecânica necessária para fazer o que está aí.
Yeah, Gabriel, sorry that I'm so tough on you, but I tell you why I'm tough on this. Because this can be a concerto you will play in auditions, in exams, and it can decide yes or no that you enter, or you win a competition. It's very, very, how do you say, exposed. For example, if I hear this passage totally missed on the beginning of the concerto, if somebody plays this in a competition, for me that person is out of the competition. You understand? So, to put together beginning plus this and the next one and the next one, if I don't have, the audition is 2 minutes, we always listen like first 2-3 pages and that's it. If you miss, anything on the first page, for me it's a no-go. It's out totally of the competition. So it's very, very tough nowadays, and the competition is very, very high for every place, for every competition. So if you are not tough on yourself and if you let things like this happen, there's going to be a problem. So take it more serious now, before any situation like this, and prepare well. And I tell you, this is exactly the place which can decide if you pass or not. Yeah? You understand?
Yes. Ele está dizendo o seguinte, desculpa que eu estou sendo super duro com você, mas é pelo seguinte motivo. Essa é a peça que as pessoas tocam em competições e audições de orquestra. E a competição, o nível das pessoas competindo é muito alto. Se você toca o começo de alguma coisa já de um jeito que está mais ou menos, se você levar essa concepção de pronto para uma competição, logo de cara você já é desclassificado. Então ele está falando para você aproveitar o momento de agora, quando você ainda não está nessas competições e concursos, quando você ainda está preparando essa peça, para realmente olhar e preparar da melhor maneira possível. Seja exigente consigo mesmo, não deixe as coisas passarem.
Yes, it's exactly about this, about being very exigent. If you are not very exigent to yourself, then it's going to be a problem. And later on, you'll not understand why things are happening and why you didn't get that audition and why. And now put aside audition or not audition. It's the beginning of the concerto. It's like your, visit card, your presentation. If you miss the presentation, how do you expect people to listen to your concerto until the end? Seriously, for me, the beginning, it's extremely important because that shows what's your approach, what's your opinion about the whole concerto. We always forget what happens in the middle, but we always remember the beginning and the end, of course. So I would say special attention, especially to this first page, which is extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. So take it with a lot of patience. Do it not 10 times, not 100 times, but thousands of times, clearly, and until your brain understands exactly every movement where it is. Okay?
Okay.
E aí, a parte a questão de competições e concursos, tem a questão da música, do palco. O começo do concerto é o seu cartão de visitas, é quando você se apresenta para o seu público. E você quer se apresentar de forma que eles queiram ficar e ver qual é o resto da história que você tem para contar, o que mais você tem para dizer. Então, por isso que ser exigente consigo mesmo é tão importante também.
Now, one more thing, last thing. I have to tell you why I'm so exigent, especially with you. I'm exigent in general when I see potential in people. When I see that is difficult for you or it's hard to continue from there, I don't insist so much. But you have incredible good hands. I see your preparation. Your hand is there. So you know a lot and you play very, very well. But you have to understand your head, what's happening there. So I would insist in practicing your head. Practice, I even suggest, my students are doing it all the time, practice without the violin. Go on the street or sit down on the bench and close your eyes and imagine that you see yourself playing without even doing the movements. Just stay like that. And imagine like you see a movie, you playing. And then you correct and you put yourself the hands and you understand each process. Please do it. It's incredible the benefits of this way of practicing. Now, not many people do it because they don't believe in it. It's like when you don't see something, you don't touch it, you don't believe in it. But this is how this works. Right now you're practicing your hands, and that can go until a certain level, but there's a moment you have to start practicing your head, and that's without the instrument. You have a lot of potential and you can play extremely well. That's why I'm so demanding on you. You understand?
Yes.
So I wish you lots of luck and lots of patience in the practicing and understanding what you're doing. And then it will go so well, believe me.
Yes, thank you.
Então,
Okay?
Ele disse que está sendo muito exigente com o Gabriel também, porque ele vê muito potencial. Sua mão está no lugar, ele vê muito potencial. E além de estudar com o violino na mão, não essa passagem e esse começo, não apenas dezenas ou centenas de vezes, mas milhares de vezes, a gente precisa estudar não só o corpo, mas a mente também. E um jeito de estudar, que ele fala para todos os alunos dele fazerem, que faz muito efeito, é o estudo mental. Você se visualizar tocando o seu repertório. E isso é feito sem o instrumento na mão. E ele fala que essa preparação mental é importantíssima e faz parte também. Tem muita gente que não faz porque não acredita, mas isso é muito efetivo e é necessário preparar a mente também.
So, bravo, really good, and I wish you lots of luck for the future.
Thank you.
Liviu, thank you so much. Do you have some time for a few questions?
Of course, I'm here.
Alguém aqui na sala quer fazer alguma pergunta para ele? Vai pensando, enquanto isso eu faço as da internet. Okay, some people have sent by email or in the chat. First question from Eda. Como foi a transição de não ter mais aulas de violino e se tornar professor de si mesmo?
Someone asked, how was the decision of stopping having violin lessons and decide to become a teacher of yourself?
I'm not sure I understand very well the question, because one never stops learning. I learn every day.
I'll just check because I was distracted with the microphone stuff.
Okay.
So the question was more about the transition of one that has lessons all the time with the teacher, and the transition to a professional life where you don't have lessons so regularly anymore.
Oh, that's a very, very good question and very tough, very tough. The transition is always tough. So now it's related always to how lucky you were about your teacher. Because some teachers make you dependent on them, some teachers teach you how to fly on your own. That's the whole difference. That's the whole difference. So in general, I spend a lot of time. My students know, and they hate it on the beginning, because for months, for half a year, they don't touch one note of a piece or a concerto or anything. We study technique and we study this. We study this. So my whole money is on learning how to study. Because a piece, anybody can learn a piece and anybody can play a piece and anybody can do a piece. But how to study effectively and how to be able to find answers to the solutions alone, that's where I spend the most time. And we do a lot, and it's a lot of understanding. It's a whole process. Playing the violin is not just playing the violin, it's understanding how your machine works, how understanding about yourself, about your person, how perceptive, how fast you are in learning, what you need, what do you need to emphasize, to reinforce, what are your weak points, what are your strong points. And once you learn the machine, and then you start slowly to learn how to drive it. And we go through lots of processes of learning what is the most effective way of practicing.
Então ele falou que assim, o tipo de professor que você tem quando você está na fase de formação é fundamental para essa transição, porque tem professores que tornam os alunos dependentes do professor e tem professores que ensinam os alunos a voarem sozinhos. Então ele falou que os alunos dele até detestam, porque eles ficam 6 meses só estudando técnica e aprendendo como funciona a mente. Eles só vão tocar uma nota de repertório, sei lá, meses depois. E... Oh my God, you said so many important things and I forgot. A coisa mais importante para ele é aprender a estudar. Porque aprender uma peça, muita gente pode aprender. Agora, aprender como funciona a máquina de si mesmo. Quais são as suas necessidades. Qual a velocidade que você tem para aprender alguma coisa. Quais são os meios que você tem para aprender alguma coisa. O que funciona para você. O que é que não. Quais são os seus pontos fortes e os seus pontos fracos. Para você aprender a si mesmo e a estudar, são a coisa mais importante de se aprender. E é isso que ele busca ensinar para os alunos dele. I guess it was it.
Okay, there's another question by Éder, uma pergunta do Éder Júnior. Como já foi a sua rotina de estudos básicos durante sua vida e como que ela é hoje?
Okay, that's a very good question. How was your fundamentals practice when you were a student, and how is your fundamental practice today? I mean, technical exercises.
Very different. Imagine a blind man and a man who sees. That was the difference. Yeah. When I was a student, I was practicing blindly. I was practicing hours and hours without knowing what I'm practicing. It was just to produce sounds and to play many hours and play the passage. I had no idea how to practice. I was blind. I was in the dark. So when you are in the dark, you start looking for the light. So everybody around me was a piece of information, starting with my colleagues, with my teachers, what I could listen at the radio, then the recordings. I have 5,000 CDs in my room, and now it's the internet. You can listen to everybody. And so it was information about, first of all, how to play, and then observing and stealing from the people. But that still doesn't tell you how to practice. For example, take the scales by flash. You know, when I ask people, do you practice scales? They do yes. They say yes or no. Many times also is no. But when they say yes, I say, but you know how to practice them? Well, what is written? But I say, but that's not right at all. So it's not written there. Even if you see it written, the scales is not how you practice. And it took me, I don't know, like 20, 30 years to find a way in which I started to become effective. So it takes a lot of time and a lot of experiment.
Ok.
And a good teacher.
Então ele falou que mudou muito ao longo do tempo. Era como a diferença entre um cego e uma pessoa que vê. Então nos anos de estudante era como se ele fosse um cego. Ele saía tocando e ficava estudando durante horas e horas e horas sem saber direito o que é que ele estava fazendo. Então ele olhava para tudo e todos que tinha em volta dele como se pudesse aprender sempre dessas pessoas. Não só dos músicos, estudantes, professores que tinham em volta, mas também de gravações, de concerto, de tudo que ele podia arrumar. Mas mesmo assim, isso não ensina como estudar. Demorou uns 20, 30 anos, mais ou menos, para ele entender, por exemplo, como é que estuda escala. Você pode abrir o livro do Flash e fazer o livro do Flash, mas aquilo não é como se estuda, né? Então, aprender como estudar mudou o jeito que ele estuda.
It's not easy to. It will take a lot of time to explain, you know, what I found in all these years. So it's impossible to say in a few words.
E aí demora muito para explicar tudo que ele aprendeu ao longo desses anos. Não daria para ele contar aqui. I have a question about that. Okay, when you do scales, where is your attention?
Everywhere.
Okay.
When you do scales, it's like you are a director, which is on top of the usine, on top of the place, you know, and then you look at 100 workers and you control in the same time the relaxation, the sound, the intonation, the rhythm, the synchronization, the speeds of the movements, the precision of the movements, the percentage of missing, and it's a whole planning. So actually the person who practices an instrument has to include inside around 50 other persons.
Eu perguntei aonde está a atenção dele quando ele está estudando escalas, né, relacionado à pergunta anterior. Ele falou, está em todos os lugares. É como se você estivesse olhando de cima uma sala onde tem umas 50 pessoas trabalhando e você tem que coordenar cada uma delas. Então você presta atenção no ritmo, na qualidade de som, na qualidade da sua mobilidade, a porcentagem de erros que você fez, como você está se sentindo. É como se ao estudar você não fosse uma pessoa, mas 50.
Yeah.
Eu acho que a gente só tem tempo para essas perguntas hoje. Eu queria agradecer ao Liviu, assim, a sua maneira de encarar os estudantes é muito respeitosa e muito informativa ao mesmo tempo, e é um pouco como se você estivesse aqui com a gente. E eu espero que isso se torne uma realidade no futuro próximo, em um dos próximos festivais, e que a gente possa tocar juntos, fazer música juntos e aproveitar o talento dos nossos estudantes.
So he thanks you very, very much. It was a pleasure to have you here. It was like you were actually here with us, and your view on teaching and to the students were priceless. Thank you so much. We hope
you can come to Brazil at some point and join us here, so we can play together and make music here in Brazil.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Liviu, and enjoy your summer there. Has been a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And actually, I want to say that the students are absolutely fantastic. I told you already in the email when I listened to the recordings you sent. I said, "Wow, but they play so well. They're very, very good." So today, you know, being so mean only means one thing: that I believe that they can go so much further and I cannot be soft on them. So I was a little bit on the strong side because I know that they can go much further, but they need a little push.
That's the good thing about being such an experienced teacher. Thank you.
Ele gostou muito dos estudantes que tocaram hoje, ficou impressionado e por isso ele foi tão duro com todo mundo e tão exigente, porque ele acredita que todos vocês têm um potencial enorme. Parabéns.
Obrigado então pela audiência. Foi um grande privilégio ter o professor Liviu Prunaru aqui. E fiquem ligados no nosso canal, nós teremos concertos hoje às 19 horas, sábado 11 da manhã e 20 horas, e no domingo 11 da manhã e 16h30. E na segunda-feira, às 10h30 da manhã, continuamos com a série de masterclasses com a professora Anne-Sophie Bertrand, que vai dar uma masterclass de harpa. Obrigado a todos. Thank you, Liviu, again. See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. All the
Até
best.
a próxima. Obrigado. Helena, obrigado. Oi? Imagina. Fiquei desesperado para terminar. Eu não te agradeci, não agradeci a Cecília de novo.